Hello and welcome to Several Excited Opportunists. Usually there are several excited opportunists, and right now you've got a singular excited opportunist. This is Inertial Drift. I've played this game before. It's very good, but it's been some time since I've played it, so I'm going to start a new save file on the very easiest character, but this time on extra spicy mode, which I didn't know was a thing. And with Carl not here, I think maybe I get to grips with this game again, which is brilliant. I'll talk a bit more about it later, hopefully. And tell you a little story. How about that? I tell you the story of how me and Carl met, and how we, since meeting, have dominated the media landscape to become the single wealthiest two people on the planet Earth. Unfortunately, that last bit hasn't happened yet, but when we are the two single most powerful, influential, and wealthy people on the planet, this is going to be a great origin story. But now you need the origin story before the origin story. So our story begins in the jungle. Which jungle? It doesn't matter. It's really up to you. It's the theatre of the mind, really. If you're not using the theatre of the mind, you're just looking at a car going around. And I should have really done some practice. I'm going to target time. Oh, 106! Oh, we've already beaten it. Is there... There might be like a platinum after gold. I can't remember. But given the fact this is extra spicy mode or whatever, I imagine there's some hidden target I haven't hit yet. Anyway, we start in the jungle. The year is immaterial, but it starts with a 1. We are pinned down, our position overrun by dinosaurs. No, hot air balloons. Dinosaurs in hot air balloons. The ones that couldn't fly already were in hot air balloons. That's the vital thing you have to understand about this story. And I said we were both pinned down. That would imply that we'd met each other. We hadn't. We were both separately pinned down. We were pinned down in different parts of the jungle. Which jungle, doesn't matter. But we were pinned down by the dinosaurs with the hot air balloons. The people... No, not the people. The dinosaurs who could fly were otherwise occupied with, I don't know, world domination. It was a while ago, if I'm honest. I would like to say I remember it like yesterday, but I'm afraid I don't. I don't remember yesterday very well at all. However, I remember the story of me meeting Carl very well. Much better than I did yesterday, because who knows what happened yesterday? Do you know what happened yesterday? I don't. Time is a flat circle, and entirely meaningless. Anyway, back to my meaningful story. We were pinned down in the jungle. Maybe it was separate jungles. No, it was the same jungle. It was the same jungle, and we were pinned down in separate locations, but probably pretty close, otherwise we wouldn't have met. Yeah. And, oh, time attacks. Platinum. Great. Did I achieve platinum? Yes! Woo! Edward! Yeah! I've read through that stuff, but I'm not going to read it again. Ghost battle. We were in the jungle, pinned down. The dinosaurs were screeching overhead, and I thought I was done for. And I got my survival knife. Really fancy survival knife. It was... Ooh, do we have two? We've got 2 time attack ghosts here. Oh, dang. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this. Oh, he's quick. You know who else was quick? Carl. Oh, you should have seen Carl in his prime. Darting through the foliage. A knife in his teeth. A machete in his hands. Another larger machete in his left foot. He was gripping it between his big toe and I don't know what the other toes called. There's the big toe and the little toe and all the other sub toes. They're not sub toes. The ones in the middle. You know, I'm gonna call it the index toe. He was holding a much larger machete between his big toe and his index toe. Ghost. Wait! Hey! I won! Wow! This is flying by. Yeah, we'll skip that. Race. Great. This is a really great game. Just by the way, I got a little bit of control with the left stick. This is what happens when I move the left stick. This is full lock left. Yeah. Esme? Was that Esme? This is what happens when I use the right stick. Yeah. And when I use them in conjunction, I can position myself with the left stick, and I can drift with the right. This is what makes this game so darn good. Oh, this is great. Anyway, yes, the machete. Why he was wielding so many machetes, I don't remember. Maybe it was survival instinct. Although survival instincts that kicks in. I'm not sure whether he'd ever held a machete before in his life. I'm not sure whether machetes had actually been invented, or rather, well, of course they'd been invented. Maybe he invented them, but they hadn't been introduced to the world at large. So I pulled out my survival knife, and I cut away some of the overgrowth so that we finally made contact, and we looked at each other and had a sort of understanding, a pact that we would not go after each other so long as the dinosaurs with the hot air balloons threatened us both. Now, dinosaurs are very threatening. Hot air balloons, not so much. Doesn't matter how intelligent the dinosaurs were. You could pack 100 raptors into the hot air balloon. Well, you couldn't, because it wouldn't be able to take off. But even if you were able to pack 100 raptors into the hot air balloon, it doesn't matter how intelligent they are. You can't control where the hot air balloon goes. It's if you can get it to go up, good. You have a sort of general way of like indicating whether you'd like to go up or down, and that's just by burning things, which is just absolutely incredible to me. But they had no control as to where they were going, so it was only a matter of time. I was thinking that maybe we were going to be spotted when one of the dinosaurs shot a flare, and it landed by us, but we weren't spotted. It had gone off by accident, and we made sure to duck for cover so that the flare wouldn't reveal our location. We hid there for at least 3 hours. I didn't get to look at my watch, because if I'd moved, I would have been discovered. In retrospect, again, there was nothing the dinosaurs could have done because they were in a hot air balloon. What are they going to do? Oh, maybe they would have phoned each other. Ooh, that wasn't good. Careful, you're not going anywhere like that. Ooh, I'm going wherever you're not going, Esme. Yeah, take that. You got wrecked. 20 seconds. Blimey. This is the easiest car. Good. Now, race. Yes, I've won. I'll continue. Yeah, Edward. I care not. City Skylink. Yes. This might be the one with like two like 290-degree turns to get to 180 degrees, as I understand it. Practice duel. We'll just go straight into duel. Who needs practice? These cars look great. Everything about this game is great. It really reminds me of Ridge Racer Type 4. I mean, it doesn't play like Ridge Racer Type 4, but the feeling is of Ridge Racer Type 4, and goodness, I love Ridge Racer Type 4. If I can ever play Ridge Racer Type 4... Sorry, I was almost burping there. Oh, there we go. That was another bit of a burp, which I'm sure I'll cut out. Whee! Ooh. Ah, dang. Ridge Racer Type 4. If I could play Ridge Racer Type 4 on the channel, I would love that, even if no one looks at it. I don't have a capture card. Ooh. Goodness, I don't remember the track at all. Now this is the 290-degree turns. There we go. Now, there, Talzin, take that, Talzin. Maybe I should brake. Wasn't brilliant. The brake lights. Oh, the brake lights are brilliant. When you brake, wherever your brake lights were in the air at the time, they will remain on the next lap. Ooh. Oof. One horse race. Oh, I've got... Sure, you don't know about the horses, mate. Not horses, dinosaurs! We should talk about dinosaurs, yes. The dinosaurs pinned down. At least 3 hours passed before either of us dared to move a muscle. when the sun went down, and under the cover of night we constructed a shelter. There was infighting. I won't pretend there wasn't. Carl might not tell you, but there was infighting because he doesn't like to remember that they were difficult days. We try and block them out, but the truth has to come out. You would have learnt the truth at some point. It may as well come from one of us instead of the tabloid newspapers. Actually, by the time you hear this, we will be so rich we will own the tabloid newspapers. Or we'll have higher moral fibre than to own tabloid newspapers. Maybe we can become so rich that we shut down tabloid newspapers. I've never read a tabloid newspaper. It may become obvious to you that I don't hold them in very particular high esteem. Maybe I should read a tabloid newspaper and I'll find out whether they're as bad as I assume they are, but I assume they're pretty rubbish. Anyway. Whoa, I'm winning by a lot now. I think maybe the game is rubber banding for me. I wasn't doing great before. Anyway, running away with it now. Where was I? Yes. Okay, infighting. First, I'm not happy to say it, but I started it. We'd constructed a camp each, and I sneaked into his camp, going past the claymores that he had managed to improvise. Of course, I don't need to get into how he improvised a claymore. I did as well. It's just, you know, something you can do. I got my penknife. Did I have survival? No, I had a survival knife. That's it. This wasn't in the UK, so it was perfectly fine for me to have a survival knife. Yeah. Well, actually, it's probably okay to have a survival knife in the UK as long as you don't walk around with a big nasty survival knife. I suppose, or no, I think maybe you need a good reason for it. I don't have a survival knife. Well, now, of course, when the dinosaurs were hunting us, I did have one. But today I don't have a whopping great survival knife. Something always calls about dangerous things to me because, you know, they're dangerous and you want to hold them, but I know better than that. Well, I don't really. Well, I know that I don't know better than that, so I don't have a survival knife because I would injure myself quite badly. But anyway, with the dinosaurs, I was in my prime, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I had plot armor because I'm talking about this in the past. And wow, that ghost is a lot better than me. Dang, a lot of this game is figuring out how little you can do to get round a corner. And I don't have that yet. I've been talking and not memorising the track. Yeah, that's... Oh, gotta ease off here. Come on. There we go. And when I said ease off, I didn't mean ease off the drift. Ease off the accelerator. Dinosaurs. Yes, the dinosaurs had fled. I sneaked into his camp, getting past the improvised claymores. I went to some mischief. I went to his fire. And I gave it such a piercing stare that it went out. And, oh dear. Restart event. We're going to do this for a while, probably, until I learn the track. Yes. We're going to start really wide, and I'm just going to steer just with the right stick at the moment. There we go, we're going to get really wide. And then we're gonna turn into the drift. Yeah. Good gracious, is that a different car? That's a different car. Well, I mean, which ghost is the good one? Ooh, ah. Oof. That wasn't good. See the one that I've just gone past. I think that's the HPE Dragon. I was looking through earlier. The different characters. Each character has a different car of varying difficulties. This is the easiest character car. So that car behind me has worse handling and worse acceleration, much higher top speed. This has great acceleration, a lot of freedom with the ability to change drift angles. Drift angles. But not much not much of a top speed. Yes, anyway, the fire. I had childishly looked at the fire so intensely that it wet itself. Or did the fire equivalent of wetting itself, because of course it's a fire, it can't wet itself, it has no bladder. But if it did, I gave it one of those stares that would have made it wet itself. The upshot being that the fire went out and I sneaked back into my own camp, and I didn't really have a reason for that. I mean, we had a sort of truce going on because of the dinosaurs which were hunting us, and I don't need to get into the reason why the dinosaurs were hunting us because that seems self-explanatory. But the feud that I started there was not one of my smartest. I thought I had 3 laps to do this. Goodness. Time attack goes back. Duel. I want the platinums. But I don't need the platinums. Let's not go for the platinums right now. We'll get there. I'd like to change the colour of my car as well. Anyway, the feud I started trivially. You know, it was the dead of the night, and I studied his fire. So, you know, eventually he might freeze to death. But innocent, childish stuff like that. So then I went to sleep on the cold hard ground because, you know, we're survivalists, we're used to that. And he got masked my improvised mines. I don't know how he did it, but you know, it was very well done of him. He managed to nail it every time. It didn't matter where I placed them, he got past them. Not even ringing the bell that I'd set up to warn me of intruders. That might be because I took the intruder warning bell down, I remember, because... one moment. There we go. Whenever the wind blew, it would ring the bell, which made sleeping difficult and desensitised me to danger. So, Carl got in, and with a steely eye, he not only made my fire go out, but also made my survival knife sad, which I saw as an escalation. Really, in hindsight, it was really just getting back at me for the fire that I took out. But this continued to escalate. Needless to say, once we arrived in the mountain lair of the dinosaurs with the volcano going off, we had a like a third act, or start of a third act breakdown where the 2 protagonists fight over something trivial. Yeah, that's what happened, and all seems lost. The world is going to end because of the dinosaur volcano lab experiment, mountain fire, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you know, you've read your history, you understand. At which point I looked at him and he looked at me and we went, we have irreconcilable differences, and I can't believe that we made it this far into the dinosaur lab in the mountain volcano. But I'm disgusted by your behaviour and your lack of machetes, because I didn't have any machetes and he took this quite personally. Once I realised that maybe I was in the wrong for having started the feud, I decided there's only one thing to do. I will single-handedly save the entire world by honing a machete out of an obsidian, what are they called? A flake of obsidian? That's not right. Well, I didn't know the terminology then either. So long, the point is, it was a sizable chunk of obsidian which I honed into a blade. You know, that's something you can just sort of do. It's really more of an art than a science. It's down to feel. You understand. You've always known that you can do it at some point. Deep down in your heart, you know you can refine an obsidian machete. And once I'd done that, I threw it like a boomerang round the corner, because we were at the end of a corridor, one of the dinosaur labs. I never inquired as to what the dinosaurs were doing in the labs, because it seemed, you know, seemed like all it would have done was increase the budget of the movie we were in. Whatever it was, probably bad, you know, owing to the volcano. Probably the volcano was powering the lab geothermally. That seems right. So anyway, I threw the machete and it carved through the air, and it was beautiful. Such a shot you've never seen, because you weren't there, I assume, unless you were. Tell me in the comments. The machete goes round, and like a boomerang, it flies round the corner and narrowly avoids Carl. And he looks back and he goes, "Wow, that's such a beautiful obsidian boomerang machete, which, owing to the hard surface with which it hit, is no longer serviceable as a machete, because, oh boy, it breaks into small little chunks, and you really don't want to breathe that stuff in. Real bad for your lungs. Real bad for your lungs." Anyway, he was so dazzled by the quality of my handiwork that he decided, you know what, I will forgive the pettiness of the fact that you essentially tried to kill me early on in the adventure, and we can work out a truce, at least until the dinosaurs have been stopped. We really should have considered what the dinosaurs were doing, but we didn't. What we did was we dove into the lava pit, which we'd protected environmental suits. We'd crafted, environmental suits, like you see in Star Trek, around ourselves with active cooling systems. Just gold. I can get better. I can get better. Was this race? Snow Mountain Sprint. Ah, these are much harder to learn because it's not laps. Oh yeah. Ghost battle. Let's do at least one practice. These are difficult. Had some liquid. I'm feeling much refreshed. Right, once we were in our active protection suits, we waded through the lava. Or magma. Was it magma? I can't remember whether or not the lab was open air. Otherwise, I would tell you whether or not it was magma or lava, because of course that's the distinction between the two, whether or not it's above ground. I suppose it's not open air, it's above ground, really, isn't it? Yeah. I would have had to have thought about what button we pressed on the lift to get there, whether it was basement, ground floor. If it's in an above ground building, does that count? Because it's still enclosed, surely. Well, we weren't thinking about that. We were thinking about the extreme heat. But thankfully, our Star Trek style, but not actually Star Trek, environment suits, because we're not litigious. Rather, we hope that Paramount isn't litigious, and we would not infringe on Paramount or CBS's copyright, because we're much better than that. The dinosaurs, however, very, very bad with copyright law. No, what is it? Intellectual property? Oh, they were so big on intellectual property theft. So big on intellectual property theft. There was no franchise they wouldn't rip off. You ever heard of that movie you like? Yeah, they were doing it unlicensed in the cafeteria. It was a cafeteria / theatre that they'd made, improvised. I think they could have done a better job. But regardless, whatever movie you like, they did, and without paying the copyright holders for a licensing fee. Now, you can think whatever you like about piracy, but I certainly cannot abide the unlicensed use of Kermit the Frog, or Fozzie Bear, or any of the other Muppets in the Muppets Treasure Island, because I treasure, there we go, that movie. I hit that wall quite badly there, I apologise to them. Saying there a lot. There. Oh well. Ooh, this is not a masterclass. This is not a masterclass. What you really want to do to play this game is you keep going. It's like that feeling of time trials in Mario Kart, where you just keep going until you learn it, you can nail it. Once you learn how to nail it, then that is when the game is at its best. But this game gets even more complex because it's not just the track. How you play the track is drastically different depending on which car you use. The cars all have the same mechanic of having the drift on the right stick and you having very precise control over what angle drift you want. But the inertia, very different. Very different. And all of the other stats. Some you can just flip. You know, with this car right now, if I want to go almost full lock, I'm just holding the stick right there. And it's not the fastest way, but it's going to do that quite easily. But some cars you're going to have to do, well, not a Scandi flick, but you've got to decelerate so that you can bring the rear round. It's okay, we're learning. We're learning and we're growing. Much like our suits were, because of course heat tends to expand materials. Except for water's odd, because not only does water expand with heat when it turns into steam, it also expands when it gets cold. As it solidifies, it expands, which is it's one of those odd things. Anyway, the suits were starting to expand, and we had only so much refrigerant. And as the cooling pipes, as the cooling pipes got wider and wider, that meant the amount of the volume of the cooling pipes was increasing, but of course the amount of cooling liquid wasn't. We've only got so much mass. Oh, this is bad. Oh goodness. Don't worry, I've just got to make use of the brakes. Sometimes you've got to make use of the brakes. Much like we did when diving through the volcano. What did we do in that volcano? We swam around a bit, going through with our survival knives and machetes and obsidian blades and so forth. I fashioned another obsidian blade because, of course, as I said, the first one was ruined with hard impact. Obsidian, very fragile, but you know, heat. Great with heat. We'll move on to a ghost battle. Yes. There we were, trying to slice our way through the control cables, which were amazingly heat resistant, because they were somehow able to survive the extreme temperatures in which we found them. But, of course, they weren't able to survive the power of both our quick thinking and our exceptionally sharp minds and blades. Once we'd severed the control lines, the entire facility began to shake. Alarms started to blare. Going, I don't know what they say, because of course it was unintelligible to me. I do not speak whatever language it is that dinosaurs speak. Perhaps dinosaurs spoke many different languages. Humanity speaks a myriad languages, at least a myriad languages. Probably undercounting there. I've not looked into how many languages there are. Perhaps it was just a dialect. Maybe I should have studied dinosaur language more. Yeah, I'm ashamed I didn't whilst I had the chance. But you know, priority, man. And that was getting out of the volcano base, because we were now, comparative to our suits, tiny, absolutely tiny. We were losing mobility. The ability to move things with our hands was getting much worse, because the gloves were getting larger and our hands weren't. Of course, it's good that our hands weren't, because of course that would be bad. But anyway, also bad was the fact that we were losing the ability to do dexterous tasks. So we got out of the lava pretty quick, prompto. There we go. Oof. Don't worry, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Oh, maybe I need to come to a very slow crawl around some of these. Still learning. Amazing. It's fine. It's fine. That ghost is going to beat me at the last corner. Ghost battle results. Ah. Continues. Was that good? Style. How much? Oh, we've been going for over 30 minutes, but you know what? We're going to have one style because I haven't finished the story. It was once we'd managed to climb out of the lava that we left wall dash. Ah, oh, this is style. Ah, yeah, this isn't about speed. Style. I can't remember how you do style. Full proximity. Yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah, that's cool. It's just. Yeah, look at that. I don't know whether I'm winning. I don't really know how I do crash. Ah. How it is you're supposed to get points. What's the best way to get points, rather? Oh, I'm going to try fishtailing for a bit. As we were as well, we were fishtailing around corridors because although we were fleeing the base, many of the dinosaurs were so committed to the cause. Oh, we're going a different way now. They were so committed to the cause that they were totally unable to imagine a world without their secret base. Was it subterranean? May have been subterranean. There were bits of it that were subterranean and bits of it that weren't. And you can decide whether or not it was lava or magma, depending on whether or not those bits were subterranean. As I said, I didn't look at the level. I should have looked at the lift. Platinum! Yes! Once we got out of the lava and had fishtailed our way through corridors, finally making it to the bright daylight of a beautiful dawn, we realised that maybe our differences weren't so different, and we would consider ourselves firm friends until the next time we started a fire where the old rivalry would start again. But don't worry, neither of us have lit a fire since then. It was an action-packed adventure, and I'm glad you got to hear how we met. It was a very personal story to me because of the many people who died along the way, which I didn't feel like I should mention because, you know, they were only important to me. Carl never met them. Anyway, the dinosaurs were defeated, which is why they're no longer around. Save the dodo, which I still have a few just wandering around. You know, dodos get a bad rap for being the things that die, but dodos stuck around, man. The fact that we know what dodos were means that they did a great job of being alive for as long as they were.
But like, I just cut this entire thing. This is awful. Why have you done this?